call on Councilwoman Placencia with the recommendation of removal of Sean Mill from Ward 5 seat on the Planning Commission.
Thank you. So I'd first like to thank and acknowledge our board and commissioners, whether you're here tonight or out at home watching. As a former commissioner, I know how it feels to give of your time and sometimes feel like it is not appreciated. Please know that I do appreciate your efforts. As a newly elected official, my first request to our city clerk was to get a list of our commissioners and their terms. The purpose of this was to figure out who from Ward 5 I could appoint to ensure that our boards and commissions were truly what Riverside represents, a diverse and inclusive group. Over the years, I have seen the lack of representation on our boards and commissions and chose to make equity and access a top priority. My goal is to advocate for our city's core values and serve with integrity. Unfortunately, my predecessor did not serve with the same values in mind. Sean was forced to resign from the Planning Commission in Santa Ana in July of 2016 because he lived in Riverside while serving on the commission in Santa Ana. According to the Orange County Register, he resigned 1 week before the next Planning Commission because a private investigator exposed him. On August 9th, 2016, 1 month later, Sean gets appointed to the Riverside Airport Commission, and less than a year later was appointed to the Riverside Planning Commission. My predecessor's way of governing and actions are not how I choose to lead, but I do feel it is my responsibility to act and correct what I believe to be wrong. Thank you, Sean, for being consistent. I expected nothing less of you than slandering me and inciting more divide in the ward and in our city. Your bullying antics only make me want to continue to advocate for a new commissioner that will serve with integrity and put Riverside's values first. Riversiders in the audience or at home watching, please take out your phones and Google Sean Mill's name before you come up here and leverage your reputation on this individual. I would be doing our city and fellow commissioners a disservice by allowing Sean to continue as a commissioner. I understand that our city adopted a Board of Ethics process. However, I do not believe that this case applies, as he is not my appointee, and as the city charter states, the members of each such board or commission shall serve at the pleasure of the mayor and city council. They shall be subject to removal by the mayor and city council by a motion adopted by 5 affirmative votes, with the mayor entitled to a vote. Nowhere in the city charter does it say that I have to follow the path of the Code of Ethics process. Sean is not the first commissioner that I have asked to resign, and I didn't intend on him being the last, as I am committed to changing the faces of our boards and commissions, while giving others in our community the opportunity to get involved civically. Only 26% of Ward 5 commissioners are people of color. 2 commissioners sit on 2 boards each. The first commissioner that I asked to resign chose to give me the opportunity as a councilwoman to carry out our city's core values and not make it personal. Where is the equity and access for all my constituents who would like to serve? Did you know that there's only 1 woman on the Budget Engagement Commission? I suspect that many of the other commissions are much of the same. Why do I have to wait till their term is up and hope that they don't apply for a second term before I can work on our city's core values and bring a diverse perspective onto our boards and commissions? Some of the commissioners' terms aren't up until 2023, and if they choose to stay for a second term, I would not be allowed to choose a commissioner for 8 years or so. At what point is it our responsibility to change the status quo? If I stand by and continue to allow these inequities to go on, it defeats the purpose of why I ran for office to begin with. I am not trying to offend our commissioners or imply that they aren't valued, but you can't deny that there is something wrong with not having our demographics reflected in our boards and commissions. I know it is unpopular to go against the grain and speak openly about the lack of equity and access that I have seen and experienced while serving my short tenure. I do not take this lightly. I know that I'm asking my constituents, my colleagues, and the commissioners to allow me to govern with integrity and with the mission of addressing equity and access in City Hall. I have never wavered from my commitment to do what's right, regardless of the outcome or backlash. I will continue to govern with honesty and transparency and in the best interest of the residents in our city. And so I apologize to those that reached out to me via email asking me questions, but I wanted to read this statement publicly. So my motion is to remove Sean Mill from the Planning Commission, and I'm asking for my colleagues' support. Thank you.
Bueller, 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 Bueller,
Here.
Bueller, Bueller, Bueller,
Here.
Bueller, 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 Bueller,
Here.
Bueller, Bueller,
He's sick. My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
Thank you, Simone.
No problem whatsoever.
Bueller, Bueller,